Alright, hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Just before we start, can someone in the chat tell me if you can hear me, if the game isn't lagging? Is everything working okay? Well, more importantly, if you can hear the game audio. Okay, never mind. So, welcome to round 12 of CWR Racing League. This is the 12th race out of 14 that we have in this first season of this racing league. Right now you can see that there's only 14 people out of 20. Looks like we have a lot of absences. And this time it's Preston that's missing out of a race, which is very important right now because we have a very tight championship battle between Smiley's Kyle and Preston Brennan. It's just those two that are dominating the championship. Right now it's Preston leading by 24 points. Behind it's Smiley's Kyle. Last race Smiley's Kyle didn't attend the race. Apparently I was told that he missed his alarm clock, even though the race was at noon. So that's something. And because of that he lost his whole championship lead, but he has told everyone that he is still going to win the championship, and if Preston doesn't show up until the race, I think that he's going to accomplish it very easily. So right now we're finding ourselves in the qualifying to Silverstone. It's a standard format with 18 minutes qualifying and 50% race. And yeah, so far I don't see any weird strategies going on. Everyone's going out on a set of soft tires, looking to get a good lap in. Obviously Silverstone is a track with a very long pit lane, so there's going to be a lot of people attempting to do one-stop strategies, which means you really need to stay like off of each other, no crashes, because you're going to lose a lot of time. So anyone that just damages their front wing it's going to very impact them compared to Monaco, where there were normal 7-stop strategies and you were still able to get good points. Right now the only person that set a lap is TM Ducky. He did a 1:26.8. So far obviously the fastest man in the session, but we are very interested to see how the other important members in the championship are gonna line up. Cole Grosso just by 0.006 of a second, and X Felix 1 destroys that time with a 1:25.4. Colpo Grosso went on a set of medium tires though. Okay, thank you for reminding me, Preston. Very sportsmanlike gesture to make it fair with Kyle. Obviously it's going to be in his hands how much points he's gonna get back. The most important thing is going to be that if both of you attend the last two races, obviously it's not tracks that are very easy to overtake on, so it's going to be a very good strategic battle, and we're very interested to see what happens during it. But right now Smiley's Cal isn't doing any laps right now. It's just Jackson actually leading the pack with a 1:25.1. with only half the field setting their first laps. You get free tire compounds, and NSA Pyramids just forgot to go into the pit lane. You get 3 sets of tires to use during qualifying, so it's very important to time it correctly. Right now it seems a lot of people are trying to do that. It's like Colpo is on another hot lap. It looks like it. Still on a set of medium tires. I don't know if he's trying to do something clever. I hope he's not using the same set of tires right now. Obviously, the less the people in the field right now, oh, Colpo does a spin, so that doesn't work very well. Going out on a set of intermediate tires. Interesting tactics to... I don't know what is his strategy here. I think it was just a mistake. But I don't know, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I don't understand this strategy. But as I was saying, with 14 people here, it's much easier to get some points, so the midfield battle all the way from like P10 towards P3 is going to be very intense till the end. People that are attending this race will have an enormous chance to get up the field. So far as the championship stands, Charlie with 68 points only has a theoretical chance of catching Smilitz Kyle if he wins all the races, and Smilitz Kyle doesn't get a point in either one of these 3 that we have coming up. Right now it's Jake Marsh on pole provisionally so far with a 125.1. Very interested to see if someone beats the 1.25 border. This is an interesting attempt at beating actually the pole lap. He's up by 0.05 of a second on Jake Marsh. Lion Games looking to beat the pole time with 9 minutes left till the qualify, and he goes into the pits. Never mind. It was actually a very cool lap, but I think he was going to run out of fuel. That's why he went into the pits. Smilitz Kyle still in the pits with a 1:42. Not sure he wants to keep that time. But here we have TRT White Claw trying to set his first lap of the qualifying session. We just have 8 minutes left, so if you want to go out 3 times, that's near impossible. So far not a lot of playing around with strategies, only Colpo trying to get a good lap on those medium tires, probably looking for a more comfortable one-stop. And Smilitz Kyle obviously hoping that there's going to be rain in the race, probably. The RT White Claw's lap isn't so bad right now. He just needs to negotiate the last sector very well. That was very close to the white lines, but he does it. And his gearbox is stuck, or... oh, this is not good. He's stuck in 6th, fifth and fourth gear for a while. Not sure what happened there, but that's not gonna be a good time because of it. Well, 7 minutes left, and we have Charlie on pole, just above the 1.25 lap range. He sets the pole lap, but the man to watch is going to be Smiley's Kyle. He's on his out lap, currently, thankfully, on the right set of tires. On his first sector he beats his own personal best by 5 seconds, that's kind of obvious, but he does set a purple first sector, so that's a very good indicator. Also NSA Pyramids gets into 8th place with a 126.4. The man that really wanted a podium last race at Monaco, but didn't really work out with him being crashed out during the race. He was very vocal about the accident after the race on the stream, and I don't blame him, but there was a lot of carnage on Monaco. Let's hope this race is going to be more civil than the last one. And Smiley's Kyle continues, and he doesn't get pole, just barely, but he doesn't. He's in second place right now with 5 minutes left until the qualifying ends. There's gonna be a lot of people still wanting to go out for a last run. Wow, Colpo actually sets the fastest lap of the session, absolutely smashing through the 1.25 range of times, and he sets a 124.6, and now he cuts through the village complex. Hope he doesn't get a penalty for that. But it turns out that the medium strategy wasn't working, and he would rather take pole position than be on a more comfortable strategy. So far the right call, but 4 minutes left. Everyone is probably waiting for their last runs when the track evolution is getting so much better. So far 2 people without a time with 4 minutes left. We're looking at Timbit right now. The second sector wasn't that bad, so I'm sure he's looking for very competitive lap time. He's gonna come around the final corner, and that's actually not gonna be so good. He's P13, virtual last place at the moment. We're still gonna be waiting for TRT Whiteclaw and his time. Right now almost everyone is in the pits, waiting to make it at the last second, apart from Lion Games. He is trying to set a better lap time to get him further up the grid. He's right now on P7. And the variety of those times in qualifying isn't actually so big as we saw in Monaco. Not many opportunities to fuck up your car like on the last race, so the places are, the times are very similar to each other, which is great to see that people have good pace. Something competitive might actually happen. And this time it won't be 8,000 safety cars like last race. Let's see if Flying Games can beat Kolpo's time. He's gonna need to improve by a second if he wants to get pole. Probably not gonna happen, but I'm sure this is an improvement, and it's not. He still remains on P7, and there's 2 minutes left until qualifying ends. So we're waiting patiently until people start going out all at once. Certainly the slipstream is going to affect a lot of what's gonna happen. During the last hot lap, people may be holding each other up. Let's hope that no dirty tactics will be used. TRT White Claw is on his lap, and finally he sets a time, and ahead of his teammate X Felix won just by 1/10 of a second. Very close to Jackson and Jake Marsh. Not sure if he can set another time, but the front five is on their out laps, and this is going to be interesting. Nobody is doing anything sneaky, and it's Jake Marsh that is first to open up the last hot laps of qualifying session with 1 minute left on the clock. Everyone is on the softs apart from NSA Pyramids in second to last place. I don't know if he's interested in maybe trying out the soft strategy, because if he gets on the softs, he's going to gain a few spots just by being on the softs if he does the same lap on mediums. Right now it's Jake Marsh and Charlie already on their flying laps. Smiley, Kyle and Kolpo and Jackson already started it. Those two are still waiting for good opportunity. It's 15 seconds left on the qualifying session. Now it's Jake Marsh at the end of Sector 2, and he sets a purple Sector 2 actually. He's almost 2/10 up on his previous best. That could get him a long way. Qualifying ends, 2 people remain in the pit lane. Right now the man to watch is Jake Marsh with a very, very competitive lap here. Let's see if he can get up the grid from 4th place, and he does get up just 1 place. He beats his own personal best by 1/10, but that's just the start. Right now it's Charlie. He's losing almost 3/10 on his personal best. That's not gonna be a big improvement. Felix, on the other hand, beats the 1.25 and is in virtual P2 right now. Very important. He was very competitive at Monaco. Right now Smilitz Kyle pulls over. He's forfeiting his lap, and Jackson smashes for everyone out of nowhere, gets into P2. Right now it's up to Kolpo to improve his lap time. There's still TRT White Claw that's going to be threatening his time. Actually not. He's losing 2/10 after the second sector on his previous best, so Kolpo is, with the highest probability, safe. But he's gonna do it anyway. He's gonna improve his time by actually 2/10. That's a very good lap. Jackson missed out on pole just by 2/10 after Kolpo set in another very good lap. So that's probably the end of qualifying, with no one left to set any other times. Smilitz Kyle is trying to DNF himself. Yeah, he already retired. Didn't like his lap, so he just smashed it into the barrier. Very liking this attitude. Hope he doesn't do that in a race, because that's 26 laps and he needs to negotiate with a lot of patience. So the grid stands Kolpo at P1, Jackson P2, Felix P3, Charlie P4, Jake Marsh P5, Smiley's Kyle P6. So far, Smiley's Kyle is not very capitalizing on his good position and the sportsmanlike gesture of Brennan of keeping championship fair. He needs to step it up in the race if he wants to have a chance at coming back in this championship. And SA Pyramids continues his unlucky streak of weird performances, even though he has the complete potential to do so, with being second to last. But he will start on the medium tires, so that could get him a long way. More importantly, Felix is at P3 right now. The man that was very, very promising to watch around Monaco, only joining this league midway through the season. He didn't have it really easy, but after 7 stops and almost challenging for the win, he had to retire from the race. But it was a very, very intense race from start to finish with many safety cars. Obviously, if one comes out here, the pit lane is going to be full because everyone is going to try to get the pit stops out of the way, since the pit lane is very, very long. And it's hard to break into it actually, so maybe we'll see a lot of speeding penalties. Let's hope nothing comes to it, but the run to turn 1 is very short. And it's a very sneaky turn 1. If you're blinded by a lot of cars, you can easily crash. And then there's always the village complex where a lot of people are gonna want to dive bomb. So here we go. This is the formation lap. We have 26 laps ahead of us. And an SA Pyramids disqualified himself from the session. That was very, very quick. Apart from watching Smiley's Kyle and him trying to get as many points back at Brennan as possible, we're gonna need to watch at the battle for P3 right now. And it's kind of close between Charlie all the way down to TRT White Claw, only separated by 30 points, and that's 6 drivers. With 3 races left, the P3 is still up for grabs. So, here we are on the grid. We're just waiting for everybody to line up. And it's 3, 4, and 5 lights. And we're off for the round 12 of the British Grand Prix. Looks like the start is looking to be clean. Colpo gained very much time. There are no crashes so far. Let's see how many Dive bombs are gonna be into the village complex. Jackson gets P5 off of Charlie. Felix loses a position. There's Charlie and Jackson going side by side into the village complex and on into the Wellington Straight. Lion Games loses all of his position in his last place. NSA Pyramids also very behind the pack. I'm very curious to see what happened there. Jackson and Charlie are still continuing the side-by-side battle into left field now. Felix wants to join in. Smiley's Cal just sneakily waiting up on them. He gained a position from the crash that happened at the back. There's also Trigger. He lost 3 positions because of that weird crash that happened there. Kolpo with just not on. He only went for 2 sectors and he already has a 1 point. But the more important battle is happening behind him as Jackson P3, Felix looking to gain back his 3rd position. Charlie finessed both of them in the first lap. But he's not going for it, but Smiley's Kyle is diving into the Stowe complex. What a move. Is he going to hold it down the start-finish straight? Looks like he has. Felix 1 falls down into P6. As TRT White Claw, no, that can't be right. Felix 1 became a ghost car and TRT White Claw is apparently at P1. This doesn't sound very okay. There's a yellow flag at Sector 1 and it's Jake Marsh that is off the track, going very slowly. And it's Dolger in the pit lane. He's going on to another set of medium tires, so he's gonna have to stop again. That's gonna cost him a lot of time. Kolpo still comfortably in the lead. Charlie chasing him down. Jackson not far off. Smiley's Kyle sneakily just gained 2 positions. So he's slowly but surely moving his way up the grid. Felix back in the race. Don't know what happened with him being a ghost car, but he loses 2 positions after the first lap of chaos. TRT White Claw, his teammate, right behind him. Ducky behind him as well. And there's a big gap between the first 8 and Timbit, Jake Marsh and all of those people. But Timbit started last, so that's a very good step up from him, gaining all of those positions and avoiding the carnage that happened at the back. So far, no big overtaking opportunities presenting themselves. It is lap 3, so DRS is only getting enabled now, and this whole front 7, actually 8, is becoming a whole DRS train. Apart from Kolpo that is outside the DRS range. Let's hope he doesn't make a mistake and join it, but because that's going to create a lot of action. Jackson put in a fantastic performance actually during the Monaco race. He was really squeezing Preston, but the whole 28 laps on mediums, stubbornness of all of the field and the damage and the penalties meant that, oh, speaking of penalties, TM Ducky, 3-second penalty on lap 3 for corner cutting. That's not what you want. But here goes Jackson around the outside into Stowe. He overshoots the corner a little bit. That lets Charlie back through, but he still has a lot of traction. Can he do it into the club? Tries to go for the switchback. He does. Try to go around the outside, but it doesn't work onto the start-finish straight. But the battle is not over yet. He's still wanting to have a look down the inside. TRT White Claw gets a penalty for corner cutting. He tries to go for the dive down into Village. Doesn't work out. He has the outside for this corner, but look at the traction. He almost overtook him there, but he squeezes the door, and now he goes to the DRS zone of the Wellington Straight. Charlie tries to avoid the whole slipstream thing, but apparently it works. He doesn't gain a lot of time, and Jackson is going to wait his turn. Behind them, it's Felix 1 that overtook TRT White Claw. back into P5. He's watching this whole battle, waiting for a mistake. Smile, it's Kyle, patiently waiting for those two to scramble even more. That even Kolpo is gaining a lot of time because of this whole battling. If he doesn't make any big mistakes or bad strategy call, he should be on his way to. He's becoming a very big favorite to win the race. Now TRT White Claw, don't know what happened there, but he's off the track in the Megitz and Beckett's complex down into P. Virtually last place. Yep, last place, just behind Dolger that already made a stop and a front wing change. Behind them, Charlie and Jackson are going at it once more, and Smiley Scout is waiting his turn. That's going free wide into the last corner. Doesn't commit to it. That's going to be a lot of damage for Charlie and Jackson. And it's Felix One that is joining the party, overtaking Smiley Scout down the inside into Abby. Jackson going around the inside of Charlie into Village. Wonderful battling for the podium positions here. Charlie and Jackson are going to go side by side onto the Wellington straight. Felix One behind them. Smile, it's Kyle also in the whole DRS train. TM Ducky doesn't have DRS on them, but he should be able to join this whole train. It's free wide into Lovefield with Felix One maybe gaining 2 positions. Oh my god! Jackson went airborne. 2 wheels off the track and Jackson is down into P6. I think there was also damage, so that's gonna force him probably to go into the pit lane. And now it's Felix One is profiting from all of this. He became a ghost car 3 laps ago. And he went down to P6. Right now he's on P2. And Charlie didn't manage to get enough traction on the last turn at the Meckett and Beckett complex, so he had to cut it. Felix One gains a little bit of time. Charlie has no ERS as well, so Felix One has the opportunity to get away from this DRS train, maybe bring the fight to Kolpo, as Smile it's Kyle with a lot of ERS compared to Charlie, looking to have a go at him. NSA Pyramids gets a penalty, and also there was Jake Marsh that gets a penalty. But he does get the fastest lap of the race. A lot of penalties. Charlie gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. So that's gonna send him back a little bit. Obviously there's 20 more laps, so we're very interested to see how many more penalties will people give up. And Smiley Scout goes around the inside at the end of the Wellington straight. Charlie looking to go side by side into Lovefield, doesn't make it through. Smiley Scout very nicely went through that whole complex, and he gets the job done on Charlie. Now Jackson looking to get back at TM Ducky after the whole airborne incident. I'm not sure who to blame for that one actually. They both collided with Charlie. They were free wide into Lovefield, so somebody had to give up some space. I would just call it a racing incident, although I think Charlie had to leave a little bit of more room to Jackson. And here they go again. Jackson fly past Charlie, and he's back up into P4. I'm not sure if there's damage though. Kolpo gets the fastest lap of the race. Dawn gets a penalty for corner cutting, and Jackson is going to be looking to join the battle with Smile It's Kyle and X Felix 1. Kolpo right now has a 6-second gap, and the whole fighting is just prolonging the chase after Kolpo. Right now there were no other stops apart from Dolger, who is still a minute behind Kolpo, and it's really outside of this whole fight. That whole incident cost him dearly, and Charlie is losing touch with Jackson with 1.3 gap. It's not very good. And Team Ducky is all over his gearbox, so Charlie is really falling down the pack right now. Team Ducky goes wide. That's probably a track extending warning. But the most important battle of all is going to unfold on the Hangar Straight. Not the best exit for Smile It's Kyle though, but he still has the DRS and the overtake button on, but he's not close enough to Felix to make the move. He's gonna wait his turn. Right now we're on lap 7 and we need to start thinking about tire changes, when to go to the pit stop, when, how. At least they have some kind of fan clubbing going on with Preston supporting Felix. Obviously it's just because he likes Felix, not because Smiley's Kyle is his championship rival. The penalties are gonna make a very big difference towards the end of the race, obviously. TM Ducky having a battle with Charlie right now. He goes into the inside of the village complex, and Charlie goes around the outside and he gets a penalty for track extending, obviously. But he gets the job done, but they're still side by side into the left field. He has the inside, he squeezes him a little bit, and he does it. TM Ducky is back down into P6. With Jackson very, very far away from this whole battle for P2. Who knows when they will decide that the tire wear was enough. They're gonna go for the pit stops. Not sure how confident these guys are around their tire wear issues, but Smiley's Kyle is getting very close. He thought about doing the dive bomb, but wants to keep it clean. Doesn't go for the dive into club. But Jackson is going into the DRS range. Preston, the pole time was 1:24.6, I think. Right, TRT White Claw, Timbit and Trigger all gain a position because TM Ducky, Jake Marsh and Lion Games are all into the pits, probably looking for the undercut strategy. Their normal pace isn't enough, so they're trying to do that. Right now it's Felix 1 and Smiley's Kyle yet again into left field. They exchange positions, but Felix 1 comes out atop right once more. Don Strix has left the session. Nobody knows what happened there, but Jackson is entering the fight. With them going side by side all the time, it's really obvious why. He's able to catch up to them. This whole fighting is still getting Colpo even more time. And Charlie and Dawn and TRT White Claw, all of them are falling down. Don't know why, what happened with penalties, damage, who knows, but Felix and Smile are still going at it. Smile pulls into the pit lane. Probably gonna go for another undercut. Koppel sits another very fast lap, 1:28.6. And this allows Jackson to go fight Felix, so they're changing spots of who's going to fight Felix. So far he's been defending flawlessly, and there are no barriers to stop him, like at Monaco, and no safety cars. Smiley's Kyle rejoins. He's not rejoining yet. That's how long the pit stop is around here. He's going to rejoin at P8, and that's a lot. So, people who haven't stopped yet already on the soft tires. I'm gonna pit around lap 10, maybe even 11. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, and TM Ducky has DNF'd. Probably a Spinalo of some sorts. Who knows what happened there. We have a virtual safety car. This is going to play into the hands of people who haven't stopped yet very well. Let's just hope that the virtual safety car keeps on going until they go into the pits. Don't know if the bug with F1 2020 still is working, that you can go into the negative delta and not get a penalty for it when the safety car ends. Anyway, everyone on the soft tires is going into the pit lane and using this virtual safety car to get a faster pit stop. That means that Smilitz, Kyle, Jake Marsh, TRT White Claw, everyone that already stopped are gonna lose a lot of time, though Donstrix goes up into P1, doesn't go into the pit lane. Don't know what is his strategy here, so that means that Kolpo drops down into P2, but obviously he has no penalties and fresh tires, so probably no big deal there. NSA Pyramids also hasn't stopped yet, but that's because he started on the medium tires. He's going for the reverse strategy. Nice to see that everyone is playing around their tire wear issues very nicely, prolonging the soft tires around 10 laps. That should mean that they would survive the whole one stop from soft to medium, but there's still 15 laps left in this race and a lot can happen until then. After the pit stop, Smilitz Kyle lost around 3 seconds to the whole Jackson Felix 1 battle for virtual P2. As NSA Pyramids hasn't stopped yet, Timbit is on old soft tires, Kolpo already stopped, and Donstrix is a ghost car, probably in the pause menu. Or maybe not, because he does pull into the pit lane right now. He's gonna lose a lot of positions because of it. The question is, did Kolpo gain even more time because of the whole virtual safety car pit stopping incident? Very eager to see it, but Felix 1 probably will get stuck in traffic right now. This NSA Pyramids is being by Felix, but Smilitz Kyle sets the fastest lap and smashes by around a second of what Kolpo did on the first stint. So very interested to see if he can join this whole pack once NSA Pyramids is holding everyone up. For how long will he do it though? He's trying to break the slipstream, but it's just not gonna work. He gets overtaken even by Jackson. Smilitz Kyle is just watching this with disbelief. He was hoping that his teammate would help him more, but it just means that the Constructors' Championship is basically a secondary Drivers' Championship, because a lot of people are contending with a lot of points, don't have a good teammate. They're really spread out randomly. So not a big challenge to Preston and Lion Games at the front of the opportunity to fight between themselves. Charlie, who was fighting for P2, don't know what happened to him, but he's fallen down into P6 with a penalty, though NSA Pyramid still hasn't gone into the pits, so he's gonna drop a lot of positions there. Further down the road, Jake Marsh, a very promising point scorer this race after being P4 in the qualifying. He's in last place. Don't know what happened there apart from the incident at the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Jackson is right now in P2, but X-Felix 1 is trying to do something about it. Let's see what he does down into the hangar straight. We're halfway through the race and the action between those two hasn't stopped. That's what we like to see. It just allows Kolpo to have an even more comfortable race than it was at the first stint. Felix 1 doesn't get close enough to battle Jackson. Smilitz Kyle isn't gaining too much time on them either. That's only 12 points that Kyle is going to get into the championship. So that means that he's going to be losing another 12 points with 2 rounds left. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if both of them finally attend the race and we could have a battle, it's going to matter a lot. As we saw in the Monaco race, Preston is a very good driver and very ambitious, going for ridiculous dive bombs at Monaco, but hey, if it works, it works. And around Hungary and Singapore, you're gonna need those effective dive bombs. So far, Felix and Jackson are not feeling like doing any stupid dive bombs. They are on lap 14. 12 to go. This is going to be more of a strategic battle. Who manages their tires better? Who's gonna have more performance till the end? It's much more easier to make up a lot of time when everyone's tires are fucking dead. NSA Pyramid still not going into the pit lane, and Charlie is really falling down. He's not catching anyone. So isn't White Claw. Trigger and Timbit are gonna have a battle for P8. Lion Game's trying to creep up to them, but who knows? Who knows if they will catch up to the battle for P2 right now. If Smiley Sky wants more points out of this race, he really needs to buckle up and do something about this gap. It's NSA Pyramids. As I mentioned, he's now in the pits and he's changing his front wing. He's gonna go for 11 laps on those soft tires. Very ambitious, but ambition is what we need, and we have a safety car. I apologize for missing the incident. Don't know what happened there. Triggered DNF'd, and we have a safety car, so this is going to shuffle up the grid even more, as Colpo has 14 seconds on Jackson. Don't know if that's gonna shuffle the battle for P1, but certainly the battle between Jackson, Felix, and Smile, and that's going to bring Charlie, White Claw, and Lion back in contention. And this is actually going to benefit NSA Pyramids a lot, because he pitted under the safety car, which means that the tire wear is not going to be a big issue. And he already did his stop. Everyone is going to go into the pit lane probably. And they do. Jackson, Felix, and Colpo all go into the pit lane. So does Smile, it's Kyle. We're not sure if everyone else is going to follow them, but they're going on soft tires. They're really taking the safety car thing seriously, and they're all gonna battle it out for the win. Once the safety car ends, this is very exciting news. There was no big jumping in the pit lane. The order stays the same after pits. Charlie goes into the pit lane. White Claw does not. He wants to jump someone, and he does. He's in P2. He's gonna struggle a lot on these medium tires, but it's very good stuff. He's up into P2. He does have a penalty, but so does Colpo. And Jackson, Felix, and Kyle so far don't have one. Lion Games also doesn't go into the pits. He's up into P6. Donstrix gets a penalty for some reason, and he doesn't pit, so that means he's ahead of Charlie and NSA Pyramids. But after the terrible race that NSA Pyramids had, that's a very good step up to get into P9. It says on my screen that Colpo has left the session. He became a ghost car. I'm not sure if he's coming back once the safety car ends. I hope he is. That would be a very underwhelming end to his race. Lion Games gets a 3-second time penalty. How can you corner cut doing a safety car? Come on, man. Well, that doesn't allow TRT White Claw to go ahead of him over the safety car period, so that's at least good news. But everyone is bunching up already, and that could actually give some opportunities to Dulger and Jake Marsh, who all made... They didn't have it easy from the beginning of the race, but if they can manage to catch up to the safety car, we can have a very, very interesting last few laps. Safety car is obviously going to go on for another few laps. Not sure if it's just one or two. Downstrix pulls into the pits. He's still ambitious that he can catch up to the whole train. Well, so far as the order goes, it's Colpo, TRT White Claw, Jackson, Felix, Smilitz, Kyle, Lion, Charlie, NSA Pyramids, and then there's 4 people that are still trying to catch back to the train of cars. Alright, since we have a lot of people, 8 people watching this stream, drop down your predictions who's gonna win this race. I will actually drop down podium predictions. Who's gonna win this race, because this is going to be an absolute chaos after the safety car ends with 9 laps left. Not sure if it's going in this lap. Yes, safety car is in this lap. We're gonna have 9 races left. Jackson somehow overtook TRT White Claw. We're waiting for Colpo to pick up the pace. Pulls into the... and we're waiting. Colpo... we're just going, and we're starting the lap. From lap 18 to 26, we're gonna see an absolute mayhem of a battle, but Lion Games already in P6 is losing a lot of time. Charlie goes down the inside, what a dive bomb into the village complex. There's Jackson and Felix 1, as we expected, going at it yet again. Colpo drops down to P4, he's still a ghost car. I don't know if that's a connection issue or what's happening. Somehow TRT White Claw is in P1. He has trash tires, but he is in P1. Smilitz Kyle gets Colpo, and that's very, very disappointing to see that Colpo lost so many positions in this race after comfortably leading it for the last 16 laps. Well, we go onto the Hangar Straight, there's yellow flags, Lion Games is off the track, and TRT White Claw and Jackson going free wide into Stowe. And Jackson is gonna get the lead of this race. TRT White Claw is gonna get probably overtaken by Felix going into Club, and he does. And we have a virtual safety car. Lion Games has retired from the session, probably too frustrated with the way that his race has gone, so no overtaking is gonna happen here. Okay. It is certain that we do have connection issues with Colpo. But we're back to racing again actually. The virtual safety car didn't take so long. And it's Jackson out of all people that gets P1. Felix right behind him. They're gonna go at it till the very end. TRT White Claw is still in the DRS zone. Let's hope he keeps it. But Smilitz Kyle is behind him. And he's really, really looking to get at least the podium position. Charlie, after losing at least like 15 seconds to the whole battling pack, gets back up into P5 on soft tires, so he's probably gonna get White Claw, and he's gonna be in the DRS zone soon enough. Jake Marsh out of all people, P7, and he's gonna get Colpo. He's still a ghost car. And he does. Going into Stowe, he does get him. And Coco is down into P7. Still having the connection issues. Now Jackson stuck in 7th gear. I don't know what's happening to his gearbox. Or it's just my telemetry doing weird stuff right now. Probably just my screen. Anyway, NSA Pyramids gets another 3-second time penalty. TRT White Claw doesn't fall off yet, off of DRS zone, but Smiley's Kyle is much quicker than he is on those fresh, soft tires. 6 laps to go. No battle happening here so far. Smiley's Kyle gets into P3. Maybe he's still looking to join the battle between Felix and Jackson. Maybe he could even get back into the lead of the championship, but that's too far off. We're 6 laps left. Kolpo's Ghost Cart goes into P10 right now. Actually P11. Please, can someone get in the invite? Please. There's 10 people watching, come on. Jackson and Felix and Smiley's Kyle all set the fastest laps in a row. That shows just the sheer pace that the front three is having and how intense the race is going to be. So far, Felix has fallen off the 1 second DRS window, and that's not good. Smiley's Kyle does have the DRS on Felix though, so from battle to P1, we're turning into having a battle for P2. This time it's going to be Felix against Kyle. TRT White Claw still somehow in P4. I'm sorry, Kolpo, but I don't have you in my friends. I don't know how to invite you. I'm really sorry. I wish I knew how could I do that, but I really don't. I really don't. Moving on, Felix gets overtaken by Smiley's Kyle, and this is turning into a very strategic battle as Smiley's Kyle is just looking to avoid the slipstream of Felix 1 at every single opportunity. He's gonna remain in the DRS window though, with half a second separating those two. They're both without penalties and on the soft tire, so this is a battle for position. Yeah, you're kind of right, Kolpo, actually. Oh. Okay, the stream is lagging a little bit, but doesn't matter. We're still seeing Felix and Smiley's Kyle in a very intense battle. They're still in the DRS range. With 3 laps to go, it's turning into a very intense battle. Can they catch Jackson? That's the question. They're 1.4 seconds behind him. They're not battling yet, so they should be able to catch back up to him. This is just gonna be a battle of skill, of not getting caught into this whole mess. TRT White Claw still somehow on those old medium tires manages to hold off Charlie. And he does have a penalty, but he is having the same penalty as Charlie, I think, so the penalties are gonna get annulled, probably. Dolger, after having a terrible lap 1, is gonna get 2 points, probably, off of this race, which is very interesting to see after him being a minute down. Here we go, 3 laps to go, and this is Felix's one of the last chances to get Smiley's Kyle back, with 8 tenths separating the both of them. He's gonna run out of DRS zones, sure enough. Felix, after having a very intense race with everyone, certainly deserves a lot of points on the board. Let's hope he doesn't get involved in a crash or something. Jackson still holding his gap just outside of the DRS zone, but it is closing off slowly. So we're going to be very interested to see if this battle for P2 can turn into a battle for P1. We did see after the safety car that there were 3 wide into the Stowe corner. Let's see if they can do it again. Smiley's Kyle is running out of ERS slowly but surely, so is Felix. And Jackson is saving up a lot, so if they even catch him, he's gonna have the upper hand at least straight line speed wise. They are slowly catching him though, but is it going to be enough with 2 laps left? White Claw still in P4, not catching them, but not losing too much time to Charlie as well. TRT White Claw has 6 second penalties, Charlie 9, Jake Marsh 3, and SA Pyramid 6. Not sure, it is possible that it's going to change up the grid, but I don't think so. Just gonna wait and see. Now it's Felix and Smile down onto the old main straight. Smile, it's still remaining in P2, but Felix is looking to have a switchback around the Cops corner, does a little spin, a little bit of contact. Thankfully there was no damage. Almost going side by side into Mekid's and Beckett's corner. They back out, thankfully. Nothing bad happening there, but Felix one is going to have a good exit, though with no DRS onto the hanger straight. No overtake button, sorry. He goes around the inside into Stowe. Can he hold it though? It's going to be Smile. Now looking to get the better exit into Club, and he doesn't. Felix remains in P2 after doing the move around the hanger straight. And we're beginning the last lap. This is the last chance of Smiley's Kyle getting back as many points as he can. He's not going to catch Jackson if he doesn't make a mistake. Downstrix gets another penalty. Not really important to the most important battle of all right now, as Smiley's Kyle doesn't get the best exit onto the Wellington straight. He has the DRS, but he's not closing on as much as he would want. Overtake wise, they are very similar in the ERS that he saved up. This is going to go down to the battle for the better exit into the hanger straight and the dive bomb they're gonna do at each other at Club. Though Smiley's Kyle is catching up through Cops, the gap is like 3 tenths, so the DRS zone is going to do a lot. Question is, how are they gonna handle this last part of the race? The exit wasn't so bad. He's using all the DRS overtake that he has left. But is he close enough though? That's the question. He's not. He does get closer to him after the stall corner. Goes off track a little bit. He doesn't have enough power to outbrake him into club. And that's gonna mean that Jackson comes around the final corner to claim victory in the British Grand Prix. Second is Felix, and third is Smile. It's Kyle. After penalties, it's Jake Marsh of all people in P5 after having a disastrous beginning of the race. Charlie P6 after starting P3, I think. He was battling for P2, now down into P6. Timbit 7th, Dolger 8th, NSA Pyramids 9th, Don Strix 10th, and Kopo, after having connection issues and leading this race for so long, gets down into P11, which is virtually last place. I am really sorry about nobody giving him the invite. I really don't know how to do that. You reminded me very late. I'm really sorry about that. I wish I knew how to do it. Driver of the day becomes Timbit. Not sure if I agree with that, to be honest, but certainly Smile It's Kyle is going to be happy with getting P3, and that means that he's going to be just 9 points behind Preston in the championship with 2 races left. And that's going to be Hungary and Singapore in the next 2 weeks. The championship is going to be decided. Let's hope that both of them attend it and there's not going to be any big weird gestures that we're going to be seeing. But Felix 1 gets the justice he deserves after having the very bad Monaco race, where he really deserved to get some good results. Right now he does get it. And yeah, there was a lot of penalties in this race, surprisingly. Not that many collisions. It was very civil, although the races were only attended by 14 people. So Jackson claims victory. That means he's gonna be ahead of Charlie in the championship, I think. It is very possible. The fastest lap is claimed by Smile It's Kyle, so I apologize. The championship gap is going to be only 8 points. And that's going to be very intense going into the last 2 races. Well, that was the race. And we reached the end, so I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.